There once was a time when the strongest operator in the game was a Russian soldier with an eye for death. No, not the Chonka, Glaz. Glaz, in the old meta of Siege, would walk through smokes while plants would go down and would overall be one of the most oppressive operators to play against. However, he got nerfed and things got changed. One of the big reasons why Glaz shined was because he had no counter to his unlimited smoke sight. This was a time predating Wamai, Warden, Maestro, or even bulletproof cameras. And I know that sounds very scary, but this was the reality at the time. And I feel like the majority of people know that these 4 counters exist and can rest pretty safely knowing that Glaz won't be oppressing them very soon. But the thing is, does it really matter? When a lot of people look at Glaz, they kind of just turn away because the DMR is an odd commodity. But I feel as if now more than ever, DMRs are very meta and normalized. So I feel like he's in a pretty good position to be picked up and used on that front by all roles. Glaz has a really nice secondary in the Bearing 9, so if they are afraid of the DMR because it'll cause them to lose close quarter gunfights, they can rest at ease. Now that the basic guns are out of the way, let's talk about the good stuff. Glaz carries 2 nades, which can be used to replace any of the explosive ops in the game, or can even add more nades to a lineup, with most being removed due to the nade balancing that happened after the LMG meta. I think one of the most underrated things about the explosives that Glaz carries is the fact that he's a 3-speed operator, unlike an operator like Zofia. This speed difference can make him a bit more efficient than Zofia when entering, and so for that aspect I think it's worth considering. Glaz also carries his signature smoke grenades and flip sight, so with that being said, I think it's hard to talk about the value in each stage of the round. The first phase I'll talk about is the roam clear phase. Glaz, as I mentioned, can be used as a head-up entry or just add more nades to a lineup. So I'll talk about his potential in both regards. As a head-up entry, Glaz can have smokes pave his path to shoot people, or he can just take straight up and raw gunfights like a regular entry would. I feel that these are both pretty dangerous, but it's a fair and viable way of playing the game in my opinion. Now if you're just adding more nades to a lineup, I think he still has some pretty good value as a cutoff player. Take for example clearing trophy set over on Aviator Games. You can theoretically shoot open the whole wall of Astro, or play the bar window for cutoffs, and be able to see the smallest portion of the shoulder and get a full kill more often than not. His utility doesn't just end in the roam clear phase though. If there is utility to clear, he also has great value. Obviously nades are nice, but something which is understated is the ability to use the smoke to walk into shields as if it were the LG meta. Now I know this sounds pretty ridiculous, but let me illustrate an example. Let's take one of the strongest shields in the game and pit it against Glaz. Imagine Bunker on Oregon. Let's say you've taken all the map control you need, and all you need left is to solidify your presence in Bunker so you can hold Freezer and deny most plant denial util. The only position which needs to be cleared prior for this scenario is the tarp store. Glaz can theoretically smoke off the E-box head holes and the hallway and elbow, and just plug walk in, and now the elbow player now has to either leave or try and fight while blind. And just like that, you have cleared one of the most powerful shields in the game, and all it took you was 2 smoke grenades. This number can be reduced even further if you have pillar control already. Glaz also doesn't have to be the one carrying these smoke grenades. The meta is very modular right now, and just about anyone can be brought, especially operators like Ying, Thermite, Osa, Gridlock, Dokubi, and many other fun options. There's a few other applications which come to mind, like using captive balls, which won't be caught by ADS to use the smokes. Now, it's time to consider the most important phase of each round, the one which differentiates win from loss often, the execute phase. Glaz being on the board can make it a real headache for teams that are defending, because they don't have amazing team play most of the time, and Glaz makes your life a lot easier and theirs a lot worse. There's an obvious answer here. Obviously, Glaz can hold the long angles and have line of sight supremacy and force uneven gunfights alongside it, but I think that's kind of scratching the surface of what his potential really is. Where I think Glaz can particularly shine is more aggressive examples. Let's think about what defenses are more often thinking about when a Glaz is on board. They're usually keeping track of smoke counts more often, thinking about when the execute will come more often, and they're also worried about the smokes and the results of one. So, the way to abuse this is pairing Glaz with other execute utility operators like Ying or Gridlock to make defenders second guess and their C4 throws be wasted. And even that isn't just the limit. Glaz can also use this flip sight to force otherwise aggressive or unviable gunfights during executes. Let's take an example of a minimal or rushed Aviator Games attack from the trophy side. Glaz can have smokes go up on the edge of the vault door and on the Aviator door and have whoever's last alive with him plant on the war table, and the round is practically over just from that alone. Glaz can now deny every angle which endangers the planter, and he can theoretically push even deeper off of them, and now the round is even more winnable for the attack based on the post plant. That's it for the video. I'm sure there's a lot of ideas you guys have as well, and if you want to leave them in the comments, I'd love to hear them. Thank you guys for watching, and hope you have a great day.